Did you call him?
No, I never called him about that. I've only called him one other time, and that was just to try to get him some money.
Right.
But I actually spoke to Larry because I called him because Maribel was sick.
I feel Larry didn't do nothing wrong. Mm-hmm. That man let your son live with him. He was paying you to do weed. He put up $50,000 for a movie, and because he hung up on you because you started insulting him about $50,000 where he allocated it to where you want to be allocated it to, he's a Vegas Bama. I can't jack that, bro.
So it was never about money. Never was about him. I was just seeing how Maribel was doing. And then we started talking about...
So you basically called Larry to ask him about his wife, and he pivoted to that?
He didn't pivot to it, but I was like, so with Cam, like, why is he bugging out?
When we talked about Boogie last week, Boogie got a check. Boogie got the Zelle sent to him. Boogie didn't send it back. I know Boogie well enough to know that Boogie didn't make that call. So where's the honor, my nigga?
And I just hate the fact that he's lying on you. You know, lying on my family. And again, it's the lowest, most tacky, like, you know, like low life fight from low scale broke people is when you fight in a way that's not honorable.
Your son, a few weeks ago, called Larry asking for money. He needed money. Not last month, not last year, not a couple years ago. A few weeks ago, he needed money. Larry works on this show. And now, don't get me wrong, this could have been bad timing. We can acknowledge that. But he said, yo, you want to come on the show? We'll pay for it. He said, yeah, I'll come on the show.
Have you ever seen me struggle? Nope. You ever seen me in a little house? Nope. Why do you think they say all that shit all the time? That I'm having such a challenging, but why is it so important for people to think that I'm not enjoying my life?
Welcome back, and what's good? This is the Furious Robinson podcast, and I'm your host, Furious, your curator of conversation, wordsmith aficionado, voted most likely to be trending down the timeline. Hit the like button early, drop a comment for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel. This is a Sick Times Media production. You see the planes? Dame Dash, the proverbial chatty patty, the monologue mogul. The timestamp tycoon is back in the media cycle, staying in the algorithm, as he would say. And this one is tough because he's leveraging his son, Boogie. He's having a fireside chat with his son as he shoots at Cameron and Larry.
If someone ever says that they lie, like if they go get on a radio station and go, I lied to get someone to, like I booked them under a false pretense and told them they're shooting a movie, and they really weren't, which is a lie, and then proceed to call other people liars. You never believe a liar when the liar calls someone else a liar.
3 hours later.
I'm now the chairman of Revolt right now, and I also I have 15.
You don't deserve to be the chairman of Revolt.
I ain't know you be lying like this, bro. I ain't know you be lying like this, yo. It's sad. They told me, but you know, when a nigga your man, you don't pay attention to a lot of shit. I didn't know, bro, that you a flagrant liar like this, man.
Because to me, this is performance art. You're not telling me that Dame went up on the Breakfast Club a month or two back to speak about all of these verticals, having a Simon & Schuster book deal, being the chairman of Revolt, getting a Grammy nomination. Now, all of that, as of now, is still a lie. None of that has come to fruition. But what we do get every single week, we do get Dame on his YouTube channel unpacking some type of pseudo beef he has with somebody in the space. Now, how this relates back to business, I have no idea.
And you're calling me broke because I have no debt. And you're telling me someone that gets $180 million loan is rich. You guys are dumb.
This has nothing to do with business, but hey, Don't forget, Dame is a tycoon. He's a mogul.
My pride is in my children. Like, look what I'm doing right now. Look at my son. I taught my son never to have a boss. He's 23. He owns a restaurant. He has cookies.
And I'm looking at this a multitude of ways because this is no longer about business. I will not be fooled. I don't see one vertical. I don't see anything under that family office. This is internet chat from a street ninja in real time. We need to change the title of Bosses Take Losses to Mogul Talk Monologues because that's what this is. He's promoting chaos to monetize a YouTube channel. That's all it is. You're gonna react to the content. I respect it, but I don't. It's a tragedy because you can't say that you have no debt. You can't say not to watch the men's them pockets when you sit around and you watch Jay's pockets constantly. And we're gonna wake it up because it's a lot of gems. When you leverage your sons for clout, when you sit up here and continue to tell these fairy tale fallacies, that's where I come out of the shadows and I say, look, just a couple of months ago, Dame said this and none of it has come to fruition. We got to ask the real questions now because you can't be preaching the same message for 10, 15, 20 years and think that nobody's going to call out the hypocrisy. It's a lot of fairy tales being told right now. And I'm just going to go back to that simple Breakfast Club interview where he said he had a Grammy nod. For what?
This is Black Guns vinyl, which, by the way, we I guess I'll make this announcement that we are now being considered for a Grammy.
Nicky Licky. Let's just bring up Dame Dash's protege, the next Aaliyah or whatever babble he continues to spew into the void. Nicky Licky at this very moment has 187 monthly Spotify listeners. Why is Dame continuously promoting this mid-tier white woman into hip-hop culture? Please help me understand that. Dame said he had a Simon & Schuster book deal. That was also a lie. That has not come to fruition. It's been 2 months. I haven't seen any announcement from Simon or Schuster. Can we stop playing? And then the most egregious, the chairman of Revolt, that was debunked the next day by the Breakfast Club as well as Revolt.
And I'm putting all my content on Revolt.
Dope.
Yes, so that I can see how to monetize. I have to put together a certain kind of a plan for acquisition. So in the next 30 days, I'm going to just be a real chairman and play all these movies. And then I'm going to, hopefully I'll stay the chairman, but I got to go make movies.
And then Dame went on to say that Revolt was broke and started using all these pseudo business terms to fool his audience.
But I don't have time to move at their pace. That's why they broke. They move slow. They do their business different. And I think they're not that bright. I think they're stupid over there. I think the way they approach their business as it relates to media is dumb. I just think it's I could double their numbers in a hot minute. The approach on their business approach to me, I could make that $400 million in a hot second. They make no money on linear. They're not even Nielsen rated. So their linear doesn't mean anything. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
They don't even get ads for linear. It's all programmatic. What am I doing? Programmatic. I get the full CPM. They got to go through a middleman.
That is crazy to me. Now, I don't want to necessarily call Dame a liar outright, but he said a lot of things. None of them came true. My logical brain says, yo, I could tell y'all I'm a genie and I fly around on the carpet all day. If y'all never see me in the fucking sky, what does that tell y'all? I'm lying. So we just got to call a spade and keep it moving. But that's not the game. This is how you leverage the algorithm. This is how you chase clout. And when you start to leverage your family as content, that's when I know the game is really over. When you start to have these father to son moments, I get it. That's beautiful. That's love. But you can't fool me. Trauma bonding does not fool me. When we're talking about business, we're going back to business. I always got to take it back to business. They want to take it somewhere else. They want to go beef. They want to go argue online. They want to go speak about verticals that don't exist. Let's talk about strictly business and looking right at Boogie. He has no music in the space. He has no movies in the space. What is actually the point of this interview? It's not entertaining. If I was someone new to this whole Dame, Cameron, Boogie, Larry beef, Why would I go check out his music after this trash interview or whatever this was, this fireside chat between dad and son, whatever this is? Sometimes we just got to think, yo, what's the purpose of some of this? The average everyday person is not going to understand that a lot of this may be a fairy tale fallacy, but if you keeping up with this story, it makes no real sense. If Boogie actually reached out to Cameron and Larry's camp and then he never gave the money back, that they essentially gave him a deposit to come on the show, the $5K, somebody looking crazy. If I give somebody $5K to pop up on the show and they don't show, I'm looking at them like a scammer, like they don't know how to do business. I also want my bread back. It's a couple of different avenues I can take this, but I'm just letting the story build.
To me, to be honest with you, I was tapped out when the nigga issued a $300 million lawsuit. And then he tells Daniel to tell me, yo, tell Kim to give me $1 million and we may let it all go away. I'm like, you trying to quiet extort me? Like, what are you talking about? Send you $1 million off the $300 million.
It's too much clout chasing. It's too much algorithm games.
Tell them everything that you're doing, because we definitely been working, and your plans for the future.
All right. So what we've been doing is I've been working on records every day. I got to work a record with Adrian, CC, Nicolette,
Nicky Licky.
Mm-hmm. And
You got a single coming out?
yeah, my single with Wes, it's called Dream Chaser.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
Yeah, but I don't want to go too hard, so let's just give Boogie some love. Let's give all this music, all these movies, maybe I was wrong. Go show it some love. Maybe it's fire. If you haven't heard, maybe it's dope. But then I have to look back at Dame and say, yo, a lot of this be cap.
And I noticed when she's trying to figure me out, she talks.
Ask Leah for advice, and it usually answers. You know, the death of Aaliyah was really hard on Damon. I feel like she guides me a lot and tells me how to react and tells me how to be the best lover.
Because Dame will be the same one saying, yo, brotherly empowerment, black empowerment, let's stand up for the next man, and then be outside with these mid-tier mall workers having weird soul ties to Aaliyah. Like, why does your ex-girlfriend from, this is 2019, brother. I've been doing the research. You're hanging out with mid-tier mall workers, average at best snow bunnies. They're having soul ties with Aaliyah, and then now somehow they always end up on camera. Insert Nicolette, Nicky Licky, whoever these people are. Because ain't no way I could find somebody off the street to get 187 views. I can't hold you on the Spotify, so we got to speak in reality, and we not. So that's what I like to wake up in these videos is, yo, this is a fairy tale fallacy from a monologue mogul. Dame continues to bring up Jay-Z's $180 million debt that he took out, crazily enough, for a $200 million mansion in Malibu. Do we see how this sounds? So let's just unpack that real quick. If I take out a loan for $180 million, obviously I have the bread to cover the loan. And if I don't, I have a plan or a strategy to make the bread to pay the loan back. Like, what are we talking about? Jay-Z has Jeff Koons balloons inside of his home. He has rare pieces of art inside of his home, and Dame is counting pockets. Dame says, yo, you're not really a man if you counting pockets. And then I'm seeing Dame. He won't say Jay's name. Nah, he ain't gonna do that. He'll say homeboy.
When that man fall, when everybody see Dame, the first thing you think about is Hove. First, Dame Hove. Like, why do we even care about Dame? Because of Hove.
If Josh Weber took you to the cleaners, Josh Weber, yes, took every single LLC Dame had. Poppington, Dusko, this movie, that movie. I'm going to put it on the screen because I'm getting my shit off right now.
Have you ever seen me struggle?
Nope.
You ever seen me in a little house?
Nope.
Why do you think they say all that shit all the time? That I'm having such a challenging, but why is it so important for people to think that I'm not enjoying my life?
This is the mirage of a mogul. Because when you ask your son on camera, have you ever seen me struggle? What is this? Doc Nation brunch? Like, we gotta stop. We seen you struggle on camera. I'm watching Josh Weber water whip you in court, wash you in court. He is siphoning off your LLCs. You've been in legal allegations since about 2015 with Josh Weber. He was awarded $120,000. You have not paid that order. You have not showed up to court. You don't talk about any of those things, but yet you want us to believe that you're this great and amazing businessman. That's not how it works. Because Jay-Z moves in silence. I ain't gonna hold you. Hov just be head down in Abu Dhabi, working on casinos, and then Dame will have the audacity to say, yo, if you take out a $180 million loan, does that make you rich? Yes. You can cover the loan. If I compare Dame Dash to his peers, that's Jay-Z, that's Dr. Dre, that's Big Boy, and like I'm comparing you, Jermaine Dupri. You're not even in the same stratosphere. These men have left. They've left the planet. You're still on Earth, and that's cool. It's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes you just gotta humble yourself, look in the mirror, and say, "Damn, it might be time to pivot." Fighting my way into the YouTube algorithm may not be it. Going back and forth with Cam every other week is not it. Talking about men's them families and wives is corny. But yo, who am I? I'm not from Harlem, so I shouldn't even really be speaking on a lot of this, huh? But to me, it's like, yo, Dame Dash is very out of pocket, and you just gotta call out some of the fallacies. Now let's talk levels. Jay-Z and Dame ain't done business since 2004. That's 2 decades of a totally different tax bracket. Jay built empires in silence, Rock Nation, champagne, art collections, billion-dollar catalogs. Dame built podcasts and pity clips. So when you moving like this, it doesn't make sense. When I see Jay in Abu Dhabi trying to get another deal across the table, and I see Dame leveraging his son for clout, who do you think I believe in these stories, bro? We just gotta stop it. Even comparing him to Jay now is a little bit insulting. We could wake it up a little bit, right? We can speak to the facts. I like to talk business if we talking bread. So Dame Dash, after Rockefeller, there was no more $100 million companies. I did my homework. There was nothing there. Rockaware sold for $204 million. Dame didn't really get yo. And if we gonna wake it up, let's wake it up. Rockaware sold for $204 million, but Dame didn't get a piece of that pie. And then the tough part about it is, even with Rachel Roy, and let's just give that a cool 50 to 70 million at its peak, Dame did not get any of that bread either due to a divorce settlement and bankruptcy. He does have DD172 and he does have American New, as well as some very ambiguous LLCs that he's going back and forth with Josh Weber with, but point out the 100 million. Let's just point out the real 100 million. And then I can say, yo, Dame is really the mogul that I thought he was. And I gotta give him Rockefeller from 95 to 2004. Respectfully, he brought us Hov. I get it. And this is where I have to gracefully land the plane, because looking at Dame is like looking at the ghost of hustle culture's past. Loud, bitter, no accountability. Where is the execution? He speaks to having a family office. Where are the verticals? Just show me one business, one movie, one thing I can get behind, one thing I can support, and then we can be real. But until we come to that point where we can actually see paperwork, contracts, and real business, I can't believe any of this. A lot of this is internet games and control chaos in the algorithm. They trying to get you into the matrix. It's not gonna work because timestamp tycoons can't fool me. I'm just looking at Dame a little bit different in the light, especially with the avenues of leveraging your son for clout. That's the nastiest part in all of this. If you made it this far, let me know what you think. Is Dame good and he has these verticals building in real time in the shadows and he's just waiting until 2026 for them to come out? Yo, let me know. If you got the inside scoop, hit me in the DMs, right? I'm trying to understand, but regardless, hit the like button, drop a comment for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel. This is the Furious Robinson podcast, a Sick Times Media production. Stay dangerous.